Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're going to replace the fuel water separator. I have a Yamaha F20, so it is a smaller engine. So the filter you see over here is a Yamaha factory mini. We'll first start off with grabbing a filter wrench that fits this filter. You can check in my description for exact parts that I use, but you're going to want to go ahead and just give that a couple twists with the filter wrench, and then for the rest of the way you'll be able to just with your hand go ahead and unscrew that off. Make sure you have a towel underneath this filter. You will get a little bit of leakage from the fuel line when you do unscrew this off. Once you have it off, a lot of guys will like to use a mason jar, some sort of plastic container. Here I just have a plastic bag, and you'll want to pour the fuel from the filter into this bag and check to see if there's any water in it. The water will separate towards the bottom and the fuel will float to the top. So if you do have water, pay attention to the bottom part of whatever container you're using. It can take a little bit to settle, but just go ahead and give it a second. You can see here mine looks pretty good. It looks like ethanol-free fuel, which is what I would expect. So things are looking good on my end. So nothing to worry about with leaks in the fuel line or water getting into my portable gas tank. Next, we'll go ahead and break open the new fuel filter. Again, I'll have links in the description with where I got all my parts. And we'll just pop off this plastic here. Now, it's important once you take off this plastic and before you actually install this filter, you'll want to make sure you put a thin layer of either oil or clean marine grease on that black O-ring. This will help out for next year when you go ahead and want to change out the filter again. You won't have to worry about that O-ring getting stuck to the attachment. It'll screw off a whole lot easier. I just got done greasing some of the grease points on my engine, so I had this grease gun handy. So I'm going to go ahead and get just a couple dabs of grease. This is again marine grease, and I'm just going to slowly dab and get a thin layer all around the top of my O-ring. So it'll look something like this when you're finished up. You can see just a real thin layer, nothing overboard, but enough to make sure that O-ring is lubricated. So once you have that O-ring either greased up or a little thin layer of oil on there, you next want to make sure that you fill up your fuel water separator with a fresh um, tank of gas, or using a fresh tank of gas. You'll want to make sure you fill it up with fresh fuel. This is really important. I've done a fair amount of research as to why you should do this before reinstalling the filter. The best explanation I've found is that you don't want to introduce a big pocket of air to your engine through the fuel line. You know, your engine expects to get fuel, and when it gets anything other than that, air included, it's not good for your engine. And so you'll want to fill up your fuel filter with fresh fuel. What I did here was I actually went on Amazon and bought a battery syringe. And so with this battery syringe, you just go ahead and squeeze out that fuel. I have a portable fuel tank, and you can just with the syringe fill up your fuel filter. This worked out okay for me. There's probably other ways to do this. I saw a couple different techniques, throughout YouTube and other channels, but for ease of use, I just found the syringe to be the best way. And so it takes a couple minutes here and there, but go ahead and give it some time. And eventually it'll be full. You'll see that it's all filled up. And then to reinstall, you'll just want to hand tighten that fuel water separator back to the attachment. And you'll just get that nice and hand tight. Do a quick double check here with the towel. And then I like to grab a filter wrench and just do one or two quick twists just to make sure it's really on there good. I don't think that's necessary, but I like to do that just to make sure things are tight and there's no leaks. After you do that, you guys should be good to go. So thanks for tuning in.